What's up, witches? What's up? What's up? Hi, guys. Hi, Ames Figs. Happy summer solstice. Hi, Deja. Hi, Amy. Hi, Josie. Welcome, guys. What's up? What's up? What's up? There are 8 of you in here. What's going on? Thanks for waiting. Welcome. Thank you to people who already liked. We haven't even done anything. I appreciate it. What's up, guys? How are we? Let me know if you can see me and hear me good. My internet's been being a little bit weird, but I think we're good. Let's make sure. Hi, Amy. Welcome. What's up? What's up? Okay, so I think people can see me because I see comments. Hey, Anthony, what's going on? How's everybody doing? How was your Monday? How was your weekend? Hello. Oh, thank you, Josie. What's up? All is good. Thank you, Deja. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Good. How was last week? How did last week's, everything pan out for everybody? How was the solstice? Yeah, hey, Ames Fakes. Haven't seen you in a little while, honey. Betty Boop is better now, recovering from the second vaccine. Yeah, I know that second dose can be rough for some, so I'm glad you're feeling better. How was the solstice for everybody? How was Juneteenth for everybody? Did you guys celebrate? Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Alysha Kravetz. How are you? Welcome. Josie got up early this morning, took a spiritual bath. Yes. Went out back and did my self-dedication ritual. Oh, that's beautiful. Lovely. I love that you did that. That's a beautiful way to start the week. For sure. I'm all about the baths. Can't have too many of those. Welcome. Hi, guys. What's up? What's up? So my Juneteenth, my summer solstice was pretty good. I hope it was beautiful for you guys. Juneteenth, I didn't have any formal plans, but Saturday is one of the days that I go to the post office with you guys' order from the bodega. So I went to the post office and I decided to kind of take the long way home, and I went through the park and I sat by the sprinklers and I had a coco helado and watched the kids and just hung out on my phone a little bit. And just enjoyed. There were tons of barbecues going on, and there were DJs in the park and parties going on and stuff. So I just kind of enjoyed the festivities for a little while. The weather wasn't too bad, and then went home. And then solstice day for me was all about rest, interestingly. So all this, daylight hours, instead of going out, for me, I just wanted to take advantage of the fact that I had more time in the day, or that I felt like I had more time in the day. So I treated myself to a nap, which I don't always do, and just enjoyed that extra hour of sunlight. So it's pretty nice. Yes, freedom with flavor. Yes. Yeah, I really love what Juneteenth is turning into. It's a pretty beautiful day. The way I am, the way people are celebrating it, and the way it's gaining in its notoriety, the fact that it's an official holiday. I posted for my Juneteenth, I had a sale going on this weekend that I posted about in the community section, and I said that I wasn't impressed with the government's decision to make it an official holiday. It feels kind of empty given all that's going on and all legislatively that hasn't happened yet for Black people. So it seems a little like, okay, thanks for the holiday. But that being said, I absolutely, whether it's an official holiday or not, think it's an important moment for us to celebrate. And I think it's important for Black people to have a real celebration. I think Black History Month is kind of kind of similar to making Juneteenth a holiday. It's very symbolic and nothing else. So I like the idea of Black people taking the holiday for themselves and like really doing it up, really enjoying the day and really, making it something important. The 4th of July was never a really big deal for me. Like as a kid, we had like cookouts and stuff like that, but it certainly motivates me to really celebrate Juneteenth. So it was interesting. Acme Sagittarius says, yeah, I'm side eyeing it too. It's nice to have the holiday, but I hope they don't think it ends there. Yeah. So it's not to seem unsatisfied or anything like that, but it's just sort of like I don't know if anybody was asking for that. I don't know that anybody was asking for that to be made an official holiday. What we're asking for is much deeper than that. But I do think that Black people need every opportunity to celebrate. So I'm happy that there's another. So I took advantage of it a little bit, enjoyed the afternoon, and then Sunday just got some rest. Betty Boop did some reading from White Fragility for Juneteenth. That seems appropriate. Hey. Aim said, yes, I laid up all day today doing my bath after your live. Oh, nice. Yes. I can't speak highly enough of baths. Whatever the purpose of them is, they get the job done. They really do. And if you are new to spiritual baths or you're curious about them and you're like, I don't know where to start, just salt and water. That is the original spiritual bath. Salt and water. If you can get to the ocean, even better. But if you can't, salt and water. Nice, cool salt water over your body, and you will feel your energy change. Hello, Ursa. Welcome. Yes, happy Monday to all. So quite a few of you are in here, so I'll say hello. I see all my familiar faces, but for those of you who are new here, I am Allie, aka BronxWitch, and this is the live weekly tarot reading. It's something that we started doing together at the beginning of quarantine. And we still do it now, just only on YouTube. And basically, it's just a chance for us to come together as a community. We talk about how we're doing, what's going on in our lives. We have a couple of expecting moms-to-be. We have a couple of folks finishing school or finishing their semester. We have people getting ready for moves. So we like to talk to each other about what's going on in our lives and whether or not the message from last week showed up for us, resonated. We talk a little bit about announcements. So I will share with you guys things going on with me and with my shop, BronxWitch Bodega. And then we'll chat about astrology. I am not an astrologer, but astrology is important to my practice, my life, as above, so below. And it always ends up coming up in the reading regardless. So to not talk about it wouldn't make sense anyway. So we talk just a little bit about anything major going on astrologically, and then we get into the reading. We pull cards from the tarot deck, the oracle deck. We're now pulling cards from a playing card deck, and we will pull some support cards at the end of the reading based on what you guys decide you want support from. So we'll pick one card from a deck for that. So that's what we do here, and we do this every week. This is a growing community. We are getting to know each other better and coming together to support each other. In order to do that, we've kind of made some like subgroups, I guess you can call it, of this main group. We have the Witches of Color support group, which is a support group that we're starting for BIPOC witches. So if you identify as BIPOC or you identify as a witch and you want to make, connections with other witches of color, maybe you're having trouble finding witches of color, or you would like more resources, and you think that would be a good spot for you. We have our first meeting at the end of the week. I'll talk more about that in a second. And then we have the BronxWitch Book Club, another subgroup, and we are starting our first book at the beginning of the month. So this community is growing, and if you want to know, what's going on and all this stuff, and you don't necessarily follow me on Instagram or like have time to follow all of the posts, then just go to bronxwitch.com and just join the mailing list. Because like once or twice a month, I send out an email with a rundown of all the stuff that's going on, all the ways that we're coming together, things that we're doing, lives that I'm doing. We went live together last week. So all that stuff is on there. So bronxwitch.com, join the mailing list, and then that way you'll know everything. You won't have to search and scroll and go looking for all of that info. So yes, hello, peace and blessing, Rollins. Hi. And prayer if you're into that sort of thing. That's right. I am big into prayer over here. All right, so let's get in on the announcements. Well, I guess I'll tell you what I'm drinking. You can see it. It is so hot in here. So the condensation on this is crazy. Can you see that? It's not as pretty now, but those are comfrey flowers. It's the second week of my herb share with the Sawmill Herb Farm in Massachusetts. I'm getting my fresh herbs, and I got a bundle of fresh comfrey from them 2 weeks ago. So I picked off the flowers, and I'm drinking the flowers. Heads up about comfrey. I don't necessarily encourage you to drink it. It's not recommended to be taken internally. It used to be taken internally traditionally for a whole bunch of different things, stomach upset, inflammation, all kinds of stuff. But there are chemical compounds in comfrey that are very, very, very dangerous to your liver, especially the leaves and the roots. So I'm not encouraging anyone to drink comfrey. I'm a little bit of an herb radical individual because I am learning about herbs. And as a part of the herbalism course that I'm in, I am consuming herbs to get to know them, to connect with them, to learn about them medicinally and all of those good stuff. So I am, partaking in things that I would not tell other people to just drink or just partake. Okay, so comfrey, if you're going to use it, it's best to use it topically. It's really, really, really good for healing wounds. Its nickname is actually bone set because they would use it to help healing like broken bones and stuff like that. So it's really good for healing cuts and wounds, bruises and things like that. So the leaf and the root are kind of mucilage-y, and you can make a poultice out of them by blending them up with water and just rubbing it right on your skin, or you can make an oil out of it, etc., etc. If you are going to consume comfrey, which again, I am not saying for you to do, but the highest levels of the more dangerous chemicals are in the leaves and the roots. So I just picked off the flowers for myself, and I made a cold infusion so as to leach out a minimal amount of the chemical compounds. I really just wanted to taste it, get to know it better, because all the comfrey I've had before now has been dry, so I wanted to have fresh comfrey. I just wanted to give it a try. I like the taste. It almost tastes like bread almost. The flowers are good. So that is what I'm sipping on. What is everybody else sipping on? What are we drinking? If you're new here, get a drink. I may not have said that. we tend to be here for a little while, so I always encourage people to grab a drink, grab a snack, get comfortable. This is not going to be your, 2-minute fortune cookie kind of reading. We get into it. Hey, Mariah, welcome, honey, and happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday. And Mariah, if you didn't get your package yet, it's in the mail. Okay, I was hoping it would get there already, but I didn't send it out till Saturday morning, so you might not get it till tomorrow. All right, but it's on the way. It's on the way. Water, because Washington is having a heat wave. Us too. It's 90 degrees and humid, and it's like 7:30. It's disgusting. Yes, everybody says happy birthday to Mariah. Yes, it is so butt crack hot here right now. Betty Boop is having pomegranate and ginger iced tea. Anthony's having coffee. Josie's also having water with lemon. Oh, Ursa's having a birthday on Wednesday. Come through, Cancer. Listen, we're going to talk about Cancer season because I'm not a fan. But we're going to get into it. I like you guys, but not the energy of the season because all I want to do is cry. It's very frustrating. Okay. But happy birthday, honey. Let me know when you get your package. I want to make sure you got it okay. But I think it should get there by tomorrow. That's my hoodie, y'all. Portia's drinking sun tea I made. Acme's moody as fuck, yep. Deja's getting close. Mariah says I need to hydrate. I had one cocktail at brunch and it put me down. Dude, I can not drink anymore, which is crazy because I'm a 15-year deep bartender and I can drink whiskey with the best of them. Whiskey and beer. I was never a cocktail person. And things have changed. And it's like when you're not used to it, you have one drink and the heat gets to you and it's like, oh man, it's bad. This is 29. Yeah, it gets worse. Ooh, Danny's having strawberry with thyme. I love that. Right now is the perfect time for strawberry. The full moon that we have coming up this week, one of the names of it is the strawberry moon because strawberries are in season right now. Wild strawberry is in season. Yes, LaQuanzas. I do private readings. And if you are seeking advice, then you can actually book a consultation with me. So just go to the description box. And I had a consultation today with the same question. Somebody who wanted to start tarot, wanted to get better with spirit communication, and wanted to know some ideas on how to start. So we can definitely talk about that. Just click the description box, or you can go to bronxwitch.com and just go to bookings. And one of the options is consultations. And you and I, we can have a FaceTime like this, and we can talk about anything that you want to talk about, okay? Phoenix is 114. Oh, get the fuck out of here. That's just ridiculous. That is just ridiculous. All you can do when it's hot like that is to be inside. Even though, and I know Phoenix isn't super humid, but even so, all you can do is be indoors. That's just, it's crazy. It's crazy talk. You're very welcome, LaQuanzas. I look forward to chatting with you. Do I make personalized fixed candles, custom candles? I do. However, all of my availability for that is booked up for the foreseeable future, Acme. Okay, so just follow my Instagram and stuff like that. I'll definitely post about it when I go back to that. But I had a lot come in, and I just needed to take some time. Because when I do fixed candles, they are custom fixed candles. They are conjured. Spirits are contacted. Agreements are made. Rituals take days. So it takes a lot out of me to make a candle. So I needed a little break from that. So, but I will let you guys know when I get back to it. And I'm also working on non-customized dressed candles. I want to start offering that to you guys because I don't know, for those of you who are OGs, like Anthony remembers, when I first opened my shop, I had dressed mini candles, little tea lights, and I want to do full size candles like that for you guys. So if you have an issue, there's a candle that's already dressed for that topic, and you can just get that. But then if you have a specific issue and you need ritual, you need something more involved, then you can get a custom candle. So I'm working on coming back to candles and coming back with more for you guys. So I'll keep you posted. So I want to let you guys know real quick, a couple of announcements about the groups that are going on. I think a lot of you are, Anthony, like the pillar size that you got, the custom candles are going to be the revocation candles, the big one like you have. And then the fixed candles that people can just buy that won't be custom will be like 7-day candles. So they'll be glass, but they won't be pull-out candles. You know what I'm saying? So they last a little, they burn a little bit faster. But they're also tall glass candles, but they're not as big. Yeah, that's what I'll do. All right, so announcements real quick. A lot of you guys, I'm seeing green. I'm seeing badges. So a lot of you are already members. You probably already know some of this. But for those of you who are new, I just want to make sure that you guys are aware. First of all, the Witches of Color support group, which is our support group that we're starting for BIPOC witches, is having its first meeting this Friday on Zoom at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you are a member of the Friends level or higher, then you have access to the support group. And we ask that you only come to the support group if you identify as a BIPOC witch and are in need of support. The Zoom link to get access is going to be posted in the community tab for the members. So just take a look at the community tab the night before to get access to the Zoom link. There's nothing to do to prepare for the meeting or anything like that. And I'm working on now some ideas of things of what we can do to make the meeting really edifying, whether we, start off with a prayer, meditation, something like that. So I'll have something worked out for us. But otherwise, you guys will have the opportunity to also just talk about what you need support with. So Ursa said, what's your opinion on doing spell work today or on a solstice in general? Love the candid ideas for the shop. Fine. Yeah, fine. Why not? Why not? I know that people were doing a lot of talking last week about not doing ritual on the eclipses, because eclipses tend to be times where, especially solar eclipses, when solar energy is not penetrating the earth, and it's like a disruption in the flow of life energy, and that is something that people often say is not the best energy for, doing spell work. But I mean, if you got to do something, you got to do something. But yeah, good point. Mariah said Mercury is going direct. Mercury goes direct in a couple of days, and then we have the full moon coming up on Thursday. So depending on what your spell is, it might be beneficial to, one, wait for the major planet of communication to be out of retrograde, and 2, utilize the full moon's energy. Great idea, Mariah. Very good point. But otherwise, in terms of like spell work on a solstice, is it not a good idea or a good idea? No thoughts. No thoughts. So that is what's going on with the support group. If you are not yet a member and you're like, what is she talking about? I don't know what membership is. Just click the description box for this video, and there is a link there that says join the members access or something. And there's a video that I made. There's 2 videos that I made. One about membership one about membership generally, and one about the support group and the book club specifically. So if you want more info, you can check it out. You still have time to join before we have our first meeting. For those of you who are seeker level and higher, then you get to come to the book club meetings, and I'm so excited. For the book club, we chose our first book I have it over here. So much stuff over here. Our first book, you guys see that? Is Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. So we are going to be reading this book first. Pretty hefty book with a ton of exercises and information. So I can't wait to get into it. But that is the book. Yes, Anthony got it yesterday. Betty Boop got their copy. Betty Boop, will you do me a favor? Will you type in the comments? Will you type in the comments how you fixed your issue? Betty Boop was having trouble becoming a member with a international passcode or postcode. Like the billing, something was going wrong, and we couldn't figure out what it was. But Betty Boop figured out what it was. So those of you who are international and you're trying to sign up and you're having a similar issue, check the comments. Betty Boop might have some helpful info for you. But yes, the book club, we got to vote this past week. So thank you everybody for voting. And we chose Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. We will be reading it over the course of 2 months, so July and August. And we will have 2 meetings to discuss the book, one in the towards the end of July, one towards the end of August, basically to discuss the first half and then the second half of the book. So you can go along at your pace, however you would like. And just know that that's what we'll be discussing in the meetings. We'll be discussing the first half and then the second half. Let's see, what would you want to know about that? Zoom meeting for the book sessions will also be posted in the community tab as we get closer to that date. So just keep an eye on the community tab. If you have not gotten the book yet and you do want to read along with us, you can get it from my Amazon storefront for just $11.99. Pretty good deal for such a big book. So you can click the description box in this video and go to wherever I said something about my Amazon storefront and click the link there and you can get the book for $11.99. And you have plenty of time to get it before the 1st of July if you want to read along with us, okay? Yes, Josie was talking about Queen Afua's recent interview with the Breakfast Club. I think it's a recent interview with the Breakfast Club, and it was fantastic. I haven't watched the full thing yet, but if you want to get an idea of who Queen Afua is and what is in this book, that's a great place to check it out. Okay, so Betty Boop says they went to their settings, and there's a button for location and country, and there they found Canada. So if you are international and you're trying to join as a member and it's giving you an issue when you go to pay, go to your YouTube settings and look for a button that says location/country and change your location/country. And that should also change the currency for your account and allow you to purchase. Thank you, Betty Boop, because I had no idea, and I do not know if YouTube even has customer service. Anthony says check her out on YouTube. Queen Afua, yes, also has a YouTube channel. I think I just subscribed. So check out Queen Afua. All right, so that's what's going on with the book club and with the support group. And like I said, if you have more questions, you can leave comments down below, or you can watch the videos that I posted with information. Betty Boop said I was determined. Yeah, you figured it out. Next, I want to tell you guys that it's the last week of the month for the bodega. If you don't already know, my shop, the BronxWitch Bodega, every month I shut it down for a week because the majority of the things in the shop are herbal blends that I make from scratch every month, and soaps and things that I make from scratch every month so that they are fresh, because I work with herbs that I want to keep fresh. So every month, in order to do that, I just shut the shop down so that I can make everything over. So that means on Friday at midnight Eastern Standard Time, the shop is fini, no mas, until the following Saturday, July 3rd at noon, when it reopens, okay? So just keep that in mind. If you've been planning on checking me out, grabbing a tea, a smoke blend, a soap, the shop shuts down Friday night, so I would definitely grab, whatever you're interested in. Call it home to yourself before it's not available for a week. Definitely check out Solstice. I got a whole bunch of new fresh chamomile. So I was able to refresh the smoke blend, which sold out like in 2 days. So thank you guys. But I restocked it and there's still some available. So while the chamomile is fresh, grab your solstice. Okay. Um, what else about the shop? I think that's it for the shop. Just be mindful that it shuts down. So there's always, every single time, there's always somebody who DMs me, which I don't really do DMs, or messages me or emails me and is like, hey, the shop is shut down, but I wanted to get this slot. And I'm like, no, I can't do that because it's not fair to everybody else. So once the shop shuts down, it's shut down. So definitely place your orders before then, or, just wait for the shop to be updated at the beginning of the month. Okay. And thank you guys so much for checking out bronxwitch.com. I think if you're not new here, then you know that the bodega was previously located on Etsy, and that I made the sort of scary decision to leave Etsy and start my own website. And I want to thank you guys so much for your support on the new website, all the feedback. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that you guys like it. A couple of you have left reviews already on the items that you got last week. So I very much appreciate that because all of my reviews are on Etsy. I don't have any on this site. So it does help me and help other people a lot when they're shopping to see your feedback on the items. So thank you so much for leaving reviews. If you're looking for the shop, just go to bronxwitch.com. Okay? And I do like the way that sounds, by the way. Just go to bronxwitch.com. While you're there, join the mailing list. You definitely want to be on the mailing list because, like I said, that is where I update everybody about all this stuff that I just announced about that you're like, I'm not going to remember those dates and times and all that stuff. I write them out nice and neat and I put them in an email and make your life easier, and I send it to you at the beginning of the month. So joining the mailing list is definitely a good idea. Also, if you haven't seen, I'm doing a pretty big giveaway, and everybody who is on the mailing list is automatically entered to win any giveaway that I do. So being on the mailing list is definitely a good idea. The giveaway includes the full guidebook and deck of True Heart Intuitive Tarot by Rachel True. It includes a copy of Brigitte Ezelman's 31 Days of Tarot, Intuitive Tarot, and it includes a copy of Conjure Cards by Jake Richards. So if you're, getting started on your tarot journey and you want some good intro books, intro decks, these are, I think, some good starter items. So I've bundled them together and I'm giving them away to one lucky person. And everyone who is on the mailing list is entered to win. That's the only way to enter to win. Everyone will find out who wins by email, by mailing list email, when the shop updates on the 3rd. Okay. I'm so excited to buy stuff. How is the Bye Bye Blues Loose Herbal Tea? Well, I mean, what do you think I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you it's terrible. It's amazing. But people in the comments I know up in here have had the Bye Bye Blues. I know Anthony loves the Bye Bye Blues. So they can tell you their views on it. I personally love it. I'm excited because my herb pickup this week includes 2 big bundles of St. John's wort flowers. And I'm so excited. St. John's wort is the key ingredient in Bye Bye Blues. St. John's wort has been used medicinally for generations as a mood enhancer, as an herb to help treat stress, anxiety, depression. So then I coupled that with butterfly pea flower, blue corn flower, and linden flower, which are all like mood elevators, nervine, stress relievers. Yeah, the tea is a beautiful blue color. It turns purple when you add lemon juice. It has organic stevia leaf in it, so it's sweet right out the package. You do not need to add honey. You do not need to add sugar, okay? Taste it before you add any sweetener. It'll be too sweet. It's already sweet. It's ready to go. Anthony says, yes, it helps my mood. So that's what it's designed for, Bye Bye Blues. It's to get rid of the blues. It's a cup of sunshine to me. And I think if you pair that with Solstice, the smoke blend for the summer, that sounds like a happy day to me. So, all right. Hi from Montreal. Welcome. Marie, Cécile, Michelle. Welcome. Bienvenue. Welcome, welcome. What else is going on? I think that's it for announcements. So let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about this energy. Let's talk about why we all want to cry right now and aren't sure why. Okay. Oh, merci, Marie. Thank you so much. Marie just sent a super chat of $10. If you guys don't know, the super chats, if you guys decide to donate with a super chat, I use that to help my little bit of personal outreach for the homeless and the hungry in my neighborhood. I have these things that I call my little blessing bags. They're little brown paper bags with a granola bar, organic fruit snacks, and a little bottle of spring water. They're sealed with a sticker and put into a Ziploc bag. And I carry those with me when I run errands and do my offerings in the neighborhood. And when I come across somebody who is asking for help or seems to be in need, I offer them. And I've gone through my first batch, which makes me happy and sad. But now I will be shopping and making more this week. So your $10 will be going directly to that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Marie. I appreciate that. Josie says the solstice smoke blend is the balm. Did you guys pick up on that? The balm. You get it? I like your herb pun, Josie. I get it. I like that very much. Yes, you do need to get that. What was that? What was my herb pun? You do need to get that. Handle up. Handle up. I created Bye Bye Blues during the quarantine. The quarantine lasted all year. I created a lot of things in the quarantine, but specifically that was for the quarantine because when the quarantine started and the whole COVID thing started, everybody was like, immune system. Oh my God, we got to support our immune system. Antivirals, we need antivirals. So my attention turned to that, making fires, ciders, and, Not Today Satan came out. That's my cold busting tea, my preventative cold busting tea. I was all focused on that. And then after a few months, people stopped asking for immune system stuff and started talking about the anxiety. I can't sleep. I have insomnia. My anxiety's through the roof. My depression is acting up. The tune started to change. And so that's when Bye Bye Blues came to be, because I needed something to elevate people's moods. And that's where I went with that one. Sweet, pretty color, fun to drink, bunch of mood elevators, gets right to the point. Acme is loving the solstice blend. Thank you. I'm glad. Yes, go get your pipe right now. Yes, this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time to enjoy an herbal blend. Yes. Tater Tots, what's up? Not Today Satan is a great name. Yes. So every blend that I make, just so that you guys know, for the most part, there are like a couple that were inspired by other people, like friends and family that had needs, and I made stuff for them. And then I was like, oh, I should make this for the shop. That happened a few times. But for the most part, all the teas, especially, all of them actually, everything, are things that I made for myself first. They were mine. They were tea for me, and then I liked them, and then they got offered in the shop. So Not Today Satan used to be called Calm Down All Around. Because, yes, I named the teas even when they're just for me. So I originally made this tea, and it didn't have blackberry leaf in it. It was just eucalyptus, lavender, and chamomile. And I called it Calm Down All Around because the idea was I needed it to calm shit down all around. The chamomile was to calm your stomach. The eucalyptus was to calm that chest congestion, nose congestion feeling. And the lavender was to calm that like hard to breathe, sore throat feeling, because it's antimicrobial and stuff like that. So it started out like that, and it was called Calm Down All Around. And then I added blackberry leaf and chickweed, and I was like, you know what? This is really the thing that will shut it down. You feel that little tingle of a sore throat, or you feel that little bit of my stomach doesn't feel quite right. You have a cup of that, and it's not today, see? So that's how I changed up. How did I come up with skasamai? Skasamai is a Muncie word. This land, Bronx land, originally was stewarded by the Lenape people. This place used to be called Lenape-Hoking. And it was the home of the Lenape people, who were eventually just called the Delaware Indians by the colonizing Europeans who didn't care about their individual identity. But they were the Lenape people. I think they said somewhere between 30 and 80,000 people at one point, from like South Jersey up into southern Vermont, all of New York City, much of Long Island, part of the Delaware River. Was Lenape land, and they spoke different languages, but one of them was Muncie, and Skasamai, I believe, is Muncie, and it means like give me a light or light it up. So since Skasamai is my alternative to cigarettes and cannabis, because it's made with klipdaga, which is a South African flower that has some euphoric feelings. It's not going to get you high. Don't worry. But it has sort of lightheaded, euphoric feeling that you can get from tobacco or from cannabis. So that is what skasamai is. So I thought that was cute. The recipe as well is based on something called kinnick. I never know if I'm saying it quite right. But kinnick is like the tobacco smoke blend that was popular amongst like the Lenape people. And the recipe is based on a kinnick recipe that I found online that I changed a little bit. So it was like, shout out to the Lenape people. They were the inspiration for the blend. So I used their word, and I pray that they are okay with that. Proceeds from the sale of skasamai go to the American Indian Community House here in New York as well. So yes, the AICH supports all Native American and Indigenous people living in New York. So not just Lenape people, but anybody who identifies. They have resources and community programs and outreach and things like that. So the 10% of the sales of skasamai I give to them. Do you talk about herbs on your channel? A little bit. I've been working with herbs magically for a long time and medicinally for the last couple of years. And I've been enrolled in the Gaia school for the last year and a half. So on my channel, I have videos about like making tinctures and oxymels and stuff like that. But I don't have videos that are like just about, one herb or stuff like that. They're way more knowledgeable people making that kind of stuff. So yes, steam those yonis. Listen, I haven't gotten into Sacred Woman. Obviously, we haven't gotten into it yet, but Queen Afua is a big advocate for vaginal steaming. A big advocate. I think she just had Jada Pinkett Smith do it on Red Table. She's a big advocate of it. It's an important part of her spiritual bathing. It's an important part of her health. I have become a yoni steamer in the last few years, and I've started making my own blends for myself, which I now offer to you guys. And I cannot say more about the practice of it. The first time I did it, I cried. I think a lot of you are going to do the same, because if you have never given your vagina that type of love and attention and care and medicine, it's going to be an overwhelming experience to do so. So yeah, steam it up. And in my shop, I have steams and I have yoni eggs, but you guys tell me, would it be helpful for you if I also sold the steam seats? Have you seen these? plastic steam seats that you can sit on top of your, like just right in your toilet, and you can add the hot water. That way you can just sit on the toilet and you don't have to like kneel over the tub or like whatever. I have a steam box that I bought. I was like, the first time I steamed, I was like, oh, I'm doing this all the time. So I just went and invested in a steam box. I found it on Etsy. I can probably list it for you guys to find it, but it's a whole box with a hole in the top, and I put the pot inside and I sit on top of that. But it was, 100 and change. It's a big box. It does take up a lot of space, and they do have those plastic little seat ones. So I was kind of thinking about maybe offering those in the shop. That way, since you're already buying steams, you can get your steam seats. Please sell the seats. It's hard to find a place to steam. Okay. All right. You know what? I will make a note of that. And the thing is, I was looking at them and they're not cute. Okay. They're not that cute. So I'm trying to find a cute one. Okay. So I'm going to do it. It's got to be cute. I'm trying to find one. But okay. So be on the lookout. If I'm able to find ones that I really like, then they might be available in time for July's shop update. That could be really helpful if we're reading Sacred Woman and you guys need steam accessories and you don't have them. So, yeah, I will definitely look into that. I'm picturing a potty training seat. That's basically what it's like. That is exactly what it's like. That's why I'm like trying to find a cute one, because I'm like, oh, it's a little too, you know what I mean? I like my steam throne. Okay, it's a beautiful mahogany wood. It's not mahogany wood. It's wood stained like a mahogany cherry color or whatever, and it has hearts on it. I'm happy, but not everybody has space for that. So, all right, okay, there seems to be enough interest in it. I will definitely look into that. All right, anywho, we got off topic. Getting back into the astrology for the week, we were just coming out of the solstice, midsummer, or Litha. If you are of the Wiccan sort, it is one of the quarter holidays, so it's a solar holiday on the pagan calendar. It is the peak of summer. For us, on the regular calendar, it's the start of summer, but on the pagan calendar, it is the peak of summer, the height of summer. It is when we have our longest day of the year. So this is a lot of powerful solar energy, a lot to work with if you connect with that type of energy. We also entered into the sign of Cancer. And I don't know about you guys, but I am not very comfortable in this sign. I'm a Leo, and Cancer energy is difficult for me because I'm already an emotional person, but don't necessarily like to let that out. And Cancer energy really wants you to let it out. So if you've been feeling an inexplicable sense of not sadness necessarily, but just a desire to emote outwardly, you may be feeling the impacts of the sun having moved into the sign of Cancer. I know I have. The other thing about Cancer, though, is a sense of comfort, extreme comfort, especially when it comes to being at home. So it kind of didn't surprise me that on the first day of Cancer, all I wanted to do was just stay in the house. And all I have on my mind this week are like 50 different cleaning projects. Okay. I want to reorganize my herbs. I need to do like some things need to move into different jars and get upgraded. Some things need to be downgraded. I need to make new labels. I want to clean out my closet, my kitchen, a whole bunch of stuff has kicked into gear. So Cancer energy is very much home energy and comfort of home energy. So if you're not comfortable at home, this could be a month where that is a particularly frustrating thing, because Sun in Cancer, you just want you want everything at home to be just right, Cancer is here to remind you that you have a body. Emotions are in the body. That's why they're called feelings. Okay, Cancer. Thank you. Sure. Just, yeah. The way to try to make it sound good. Oh, emotions are held in the body. I don't want to feel my emotions all the time, Mariah. Okay, thank you very much. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. They are called feelings for a reason. It's not healthy to avoid them or not feel them. Cancer season can really pull it out of us. Plus, we have this full moon coming up, and we know the full moon is often a time of emotional release as well. So, if you're feeling like a little bit of a crybaby this week, and you can't put your finger on why, this could be part of it. Ames said, me also, the cancer crybaby gangsters. Exactly. That's how I am. I am a super huge crybaby, and I really try not to let people know it. And cancer season's hard for me because it's hard to hide it. It really wants, all that stuff to come out. Her birthday is tomorrow. She be wildin'. Your mother's birthday too. Yeah. Oh, Ursa said I tend to hold emotions in my head and my stomach. Yeah, I tend to hold mine in my stomach as well. I get a lot of discomfort and anxiety, and in my shoulders, and also in my mouth. I did not really realize that, but I learned that I clench and grind my teeth. Sometimes when I'm sleeping and I'm really stressed, I didn't know that until recently. So we definitely hold our emotions in the body, and cancer season can help you to release that. But it's also about being comfortable at home. So if being emotional in the public eye is not, something that doesn't make you feel comfortable, stay at home. Get organizing, get cleaning, take advantage of the fact that you want to just kind of be away from people and you're feeling kind of raw. Utilize that. We talk about astrology not to dread anything. We talk about it so we can figure out how to use it to our benefit, how we can be proactive instead of reactive. So if we know that cancer season is going to potentially have us in our feelings more than usual, let's take advantage of take advantage of that. Let it help you to release emotions that you maybe have been struggling to get in touch with. But then also the other aspects of cancer, like being comfortable at home, can utilize that. Oh, yeah. I wonder. Mariah says, I also get very clammy this time of year and can't figure out why. My hands and feet are constantly damp. That is very interesting. And I do wonder if that is associated with the water in you, being that you are a Cancer, kind of like coming to the surface for you. And if you want to treat excessive sweating, blackberry leaf. Blackberry leaf. You can drink it as a tea. It is drying, so make sure it's too moisturized. But it will dry out and help you sweat less. Yeah. What else is going on in the cosmos? We have a full moon coming up, so I know I don't have to tell you witches. I'm sure all of y'all are ready for that. We have a full moon coming up on Thursday, 2:40 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. That's on the 24th. It has a number of folk names: the strong sun moon, the pink moon, the strawberry moon. I personally think of it as the strawberry moon because I love that wild strawberries come into season this week, basically around this time. I love connecting with the energy of strawberry this time of year. Last year, I made like a Juneteenth strawberry lemonade. This year, I'm going to see if the farmer's market has strawberries. And I'm going to maybe make like a tart or something like that. I haven't decided yet. But I'm going to do something with strawberries for the full moon and make an offering with that. Strawberry energy is an awesome energy to connect to because strawberry is one of the first fruits to become ready in the summertime. They're like ahead of the game. They're like 100% ready. So the energy with strawberry is of being like totally prepared and ready. You know what I mean? And so I like that energy. Strawberry is ready to go. They're like, oh, it's June? Good. We're summertime. We're ready. So strawberries are cool. Oh my gosh, you're going to plant blackberry bushes. Look at that. That's perfect. Will they be ready next year? I think so. I think they'll come up and be ready for you to maybe use some of the leaves. That's awesome. powder on our hands before bed. That's an idea. Cool. Let's see what else. So, what energy does this full moon carry? This is going to be a full moon in Capricorn. I really like that it is falling on a Thursday because Thursday is Jupiter's day. It is the day of many things, but for me, and a lot of people, I guess, it is the day of expansion, of opening roads. I honor my road openers on that day. I leave offerings at the crossroads that I work with that day. So for there to be a full moon on such an expansive energy day just seems like a really strong energy for manifesting. A really strong energy for release as well. So we talked about, Cancer season pulling up emotions and the full moon in general being a time for releasing emotions. So these two things can collide, whether you decide to do some type of prayer, meditation, or some type of full moon ritual or what have you. But for me, the energy around this is it's a really good time to release any emotions that you maybe have been keeping bottled up. For sure. And then, the last thing is Mercury stops reggaetoning on Wednesday, so we can put down our chanclas. Okay, everyone can take a deep breath. I'm going to be moving out of that. This reggaeton, I do that every time. This retrograde was actually not that bad for me in terms of some of the technological snafus that I often go through. So there was that. This was definitely more of a revisiting old issues, new beginning type situation stuff going on for me. So I don't know how you guys have been surviving the retrograde, but Mercury does station direct in a couple of days. There's the shadow period apparently that lasts for another week or so after. But if this has been a particularly difficult retrograde for you, then hopefully you'll start feeling some release and relief as the week goes on. So, yes. So yes, that is the rundown of announcements and astrology stuff. We're going to start getting into the reading in a second. So if you are new here, welcome. I'm Allie, the Bronx Witch, and this is the live weekly tarot reading. If you have been sitting here this entire time, you're like, well, what the fuck? Do we actually do tarot here? Yes, we do. But first, we talk about our week, how we're doing. We talk about astrology because it will show up in the cards no matter what, and what we can expect energetically in that regard. And then we get into the cards. I was wondering that too, Ursa. I was like, Ace? Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a second to quiet the million miles a minute announcement voice going on in my head so that I can tap in, and we will be pulling cards from the Oracle deck, Vintage Wisdom Oracle. Today I felt led to pull from a deck that we haven't pulled from in a long time, the Silver Witchcraft Tarot deck. This is by, I want to say Anne Mora. Hold on. Lies. Barbara Moore. Let me not mess it up. Silver Witchcraft Tarot. This is an older deck. That's why I forgot. This one's been out for quite a while, but with the moon being full, I wanted to have some moon energy. So Silver Witchcraft Tarot. And then I will be pulling a card from the Conjure Cards Playing card deck new release that I just did a video on. So if you're interested in any of these cards, all the info is in the description box. You can get the Oracle deck and the Tarot deck from my Amazon storefront, and you can get the Conjure cards from you can get all three on my Amazon storefront. Okay. Yeah, it is pretty, right? Silver Witchcraft. This is an oldie but goodie. Thank you, Acme. I'm very For someone who's been reading tarot for as long as I have, to only own like 7 decks is like a crazy thing. But I don't get a deck unless it really sings. So y'all remember, if you're not new here, then you know that we talk about astrology because what do I always say? If we don't talk about it, we are going to see it in the reading. No matter what. Do I not say this? I say this all the time. Okay. So if you're like, why do we bother with the astrology thing? I don't understand. Every single time it shows up. This is what we have in the Thursday position, full moon, Ace of Cups. Okay. Moving into Friday, death in reverse, again, the full moon. Okay, so Thursday, Friday, all about the full moon, as above, so below. Thank you guys. You know what it is. Okay, if you're new here, get used to hearing me say that, as above, so below. It happens every time. It doesn't matter what deck we use. It doesn't matter what the imagery is. It is always such an obvious statement about what is going on. 3 of Wands, full moon. You might not be able to see that because it's so bright, but he's standing on the shore and the full moon is right here. Thursday, Friday, Saturday is all about the full moon for us, okay? Every time, right, Ames? Every time. So that's why we talk about it, because it comes up. What is happening, especially because this is a collective reading. It, might be different in a private reading. Certainly like today's private readings I don't think I saw anything about the full moon in today's readings, when we are doing a reading like this, or we're talking about the collective energy, we are always going to see this reference to what is happening astrologically. Because as above, so below, what is happening in our cosmos impacts the energy that we all feel down here on Earth. And so it doesn't mean that, like, oh, your day is going to be shitty or your day is going to be great because this planet is doing that or doing that. But it is important to understand that everybody is experiencing this collective shift in the energy. We are connected in a way that is energetic. And that is why we see it come up every time. Okay? So that's my thing. That's why we bother to talk about it. So please forgive me, people who are bored with the astrology stuff, but that's why we're talking about it. With our oracle message, we're going to start off there. The message is strength. And so obviously this relates to the Strength Tarot card in the sense of inner strength. But for me, this is just another reference to the full moon. It is a reference to divine feminine energy, that intense lunar energy that we receive when the moon is full, and the way it draws on our emotions. This is when we talk about strength. Pretty much anytime we're talking about strength in a divinatory setting, we're talking about inner strength and personal strength, spiritual and emotional strength, not physical strength, right? So this is about your personal inner strength being called on as you navigate that sort of waterfall of emotions that you might experience towards the end, that you will experience towards the end of the week. Okay, so strength is our oracle message. We'll keep coming back to that. But this is very much being strong enough to face that which the moon draws out. Macrocosm in the microcosm, sacred woman energy. The sacred woman energy for sure, divine feminine. And remember, everyone, regardless of what you gender identify with, that's not what divine feminine, divine masculine is about. It's not about gender identification. It is about a nature of our own divine spirit, our own self. It's the swirling components that make up the one, okay? And that's just one element of it. So that's going to be, that is the part of us that releases and emotes. And it's the part of us that we evidently are going to need to call on and be in touch with or tap into this weekend in order to navigate the things that come up as a result of the full moon, okay? Before we get into the tarot, I want to talk about the conjure card. We have the 7 of clubs, and I read this in the reverse because we only have one row of them in the upright. So I read this as 7 of clubs in the reverse. So we are getting to know this deck. So let's take a look at what Jake Richards says about it. And then I'll tell you guys what I feel about it. And just the reverse, it says the 7 of clubs brings a lighter tone that shows your doubts and worries will be overcome after some time and may predict a journey over water. Okay, so that's interesting. That is interesting because of the journey over water reference that comes up towards the end of the week. I do not take that journey over water to be literal. Perhaps some of you will be traveling literally over water, but I don't think that's what this is. I think this is more about the journey through the emotional waterfall. I keep hearing waterfall, that could happen for you this weekend, this week into this weekend. So 7 of clubs for me is more about the relief and the light feeling that you have after, I feel like, when you have a bad tooth pulled and it's like it was painful, it was uncomfortable, but having it out. I know this story very, very much. Having it out at the end of the day is better. than having it in. So it's that sense of relief, of getting over troubled waters, making it over the waterfall safely, getting through the emotional upheaval, to end up safely on the other side. So I think that's the waters that we're navigating this week, specifically our emotions. All right. That's so interesting. I keep pulling Strength in the Sun tarot cards in my readings. I love it when you guys be telling me like, "Oh, you pulled this card. I pulled it 3 times this week." I'm like, well, "Are you listening?" You keep pulling it. You're being sent a message. Well, what are you not receiving? When you keep pulling the same message, what are you not receiving? You've got to listen to what what is being sent to you. Roland says, 7 of Wands. It's interesting that you say that. We start the week off in the position of the 6 of Wands. So not quite yet at the 7 of Wands position, which is a good thing, the energy here, 6 of Wands for the week, is really more of like being supported on your journey, knowing that there are challenges and there have already been challenges. Things aren't necessarily super smooth and all of that. But the 6 of Wands, for the week, and remember the Monday card is like a vibe for the week for me card. It's not necessarily like, oh, this is what happens on Monday. So the vibe that we're getting for the week, or the sort of focus for the week, is the community that we have around us that is supporting us, cheering us on, encouraging us. How are we paving the way forward with our pursuits, our passions, our ideas? Are we leading or are we following? Either one is fine. How are we showing up in either of those roles? So 7 of Wands is kind of more the place we get to when we've really assumed sort of a leadership position, or we've had some victory where we are, and now the naysayers are kind of coming along. That isn't really the energy here for the week. This is more of a supportive energy, encouraging you to overcome, helping you through difficult times. So as we talked about being on a journey over troubled water, who is there to support you and help you, while you go through this emotional release this week. It looks like we have some indication of some specifics of who might be there to help you. We have the Queen of Pentacles, one of the ultimate mother cards. This is somebody who really shows up in your life as a provider. Single mama say, hey. Queen of Pentacles is often that type of energy. Doesn't really need anybody to help them out, or doesn't have anybody. Sometimes it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But the Queen of Pentacles is very capable, very fertile, very much a producer, a creator. So this could be you. Okay, this could be you. The inner strength that you need to call on is your Queen of Pentacles in order to navigate through the week. It's time for you to sort of step into your role as, the leader of the crew, the leader of the community. This is you tapping into your ability to provide for others. So I know we have mamas to be in the crowd, so this energy is tapping into that mama energy for sure. So, if you are about to be a mama, then this could be literally as you are, making milestones, making preparations, making plans. This is you stepping into your production side, digging down deep to actually create the things that you are creating, literally. But for those of us who are not with child, this is more, in the physical, the things that we create, the things that we birth, and tapping into our Earth Mother, energy, connecting with the Earth. The full moon is in Capricorn, and connecting with that Earth element could be really helpful for us as we start off the week. So, Queen of Pentacles. Aside from it being us, if that resonates with you, like that's me, I need to step into that part of myself in order to navigate my next milestone, my next victory, the next thing that I want to accomplish, then that is speaking to you and your personal energy for the week. But this could also be a person outside of you, a literal person in your life. So this might be your mother, or a motherly figure, or somebody just who is very nurturing, a provider, someone who is always giving of themselves. You may be able to turn to that person specifically for support and help through what seems like it might be an emotional weekend. Okay? You know what I'm saying? 9 of Pentacles in reverse. We have this in the Wednesday position together with the Queen of Pentacles is very much like, I'm definitely feeling that for a lot of you, this isn't about connecting with someone outside of you. This is about getting in touch with your divine feminine, with your Mother Earth energy. Because the 9 of Pentacles in reverse is not exhaustion, but like, just sort of like, whew, it's just this energy of like, whew, I almost feel like that's what she's doing, like with her fingers, like, but like, shh, be quiet, like, oh, I'm done. But the energy is like, I have put in a lot of work and energy. I have put in a lot of effort. I've put in a lot of resources, and I am reaping what I've sowed. We talked about this last week with like the solstice, the peak of that solar energy of the things that you've been working on for the year, the things that you've been manifesting. There's a point where you sort of have to like kind of take a break. You've been producing, you've been the Queen of Pentacles, you've been showing up, you've been completing tasks, and now it's sort of a moment of release. And that is what's leading us into the full moon and this feeling of release. So this is kind of great because, in some ways your hard work you've seen paying off. This is very fertile, juicy energy, so if you haven't already started to reap the rewards of all that you are sowing, you are coming close. And this is so crazy because it lines up with like those of you who are actually expecting. I know Deja said it's like it's soon, right? So this is that energy of like been putting in the effort, putting in the energy, so tilling the land, working the land, watering the plants, keeping everything going. And now we're getting to a point where it's like things are almost ready. So we're either almost ready to birth, or we finally have fertile soil where we're ready to plant, but things are like ready, and the efforts and the energy that we've been putting in, we're seeing like a completion. But this is coming with an emotional release because it hasn't been an easy journey, hence the need for support. So it hasn't been an easy journey. And then we hit the full moon and it's just like, boom. It's like, boom, overflow of emotion comes forward, definitely tied to whatever this effort and energy is. So if you've been working to build something, we have obviously Pentacles here, heavy earth energy. So this could be with our finances, efforts and energy that you've been putting in with things that relate to your financial stability. But more than that, just your comfort. We were talking about being in the sign of Cancer and comfort. So efforts and energy that you have been putting into making your environment comfortable and making sure that it's home and it's secure and it's everything that you want, and it's a result of all of your effort and energy. You have been doing that work and putting that effort in, and now it's kind of like you need to get it out. And you finally get to like scream and let it out. And remember, we said, emotions, the first thing that we think of is sadness when we think about being quote unquote emotional. But that's not the only emotion. This can be crazy happiness. This can be finally letting yourself celebrate. This can be, you know, being at ease and rest. This can be anger. If you have been dealing with a situation where maybe you've been treated unfairly, or you've had to work really hard to get what is owed to you or what you deserve, or to see a payoff for your effort and energy, there might be a lot of anger and resentment tied to that for how hard you've had to work to get what you have. You know what I'm saying? So emotion is not just sadness. So some of us will resonate with this as an outpouring of sadness, but for some of us, this might be finally getting angry. This might be pure, unbelievable joy and celebration. So this is just an outpouring of emotion that comes up when? Thursday of the week. Oh, what a coincidence. We have a full moon that day. So yeah, coincidentally, we have this, you know, and we know not every Ace of Cups has a full moon in it. You know that. But we have this blaring signal that the full moon really literally pulls up out of us like an overflowing cup emotions that need to be expressed, that need to be, you know, expressed, and up until now have not been. And then we have to get through that. Then we have to get through the overflowing of the emotions, you know, because it's like once you pull the plug, now it flows out, you know. So I'm definitely feeling anger from a lot of you. It's not just sadness that folks are feeling. There's some anger that people have not been. Am I flashing you guys? Sorry, I have to lift my skirt because my sacral activates when I do readings, and I get hot, and I have a fan down here. It's a whole thing. So I hope I'm not flashing you. Please let me know if I do. But it's an outpouring of emotion, and a lot of it does feel like the opportunity to be angry, maybe where you had not before. We talked about the Seven of Clubs in the reverse, talked about getting over the rough water and the feeling of relief and release, and we see that here with the Death card in the reverse. This is like finally accepting that what's done is done, and what needs to come out needs to come out. What needs to be expressed needs to be expressed, and what needs to be rebirthed needs to be rebirthed, because we have all this really fertile soil, you know. That for me is coming through even more than like I feel a lot of us, like even more than having literal rewards for the effort and energy we've put in, we're not even necessarily at that point, but we're at the point where, like, remember we were talking about the new beginning with the eclipse, how that was like a different kind of new beginning where we feel like we were transplanted. You guys remember my really good analogy about not being a new seed, but being the same seed, and realizing that it was the soil and the plant, the planter that was the problem. So the solar eclipse was like being transplanted, where we got an opportunity to shift not just ourselves, but like our environment and how we see things. To me, it feels like this is taking advantage of that really ripe soil. So we don't, and I said at the new moon that by the full moon, we might start seeing a little bud peeking up from the soil, but we might not, right? I said we might not see anything, and to remember that a seed is still percolating under the surface, even though we don't see the bud poking up from the ground just yet. So I think for a lot of you, what you've been working on and what you're finally starting to get to isn't even the reward just yet, but just the fertile soil. And you feel much, much better about the environment that you've created for the success you want to see. So this is, you know, moving into Thursday and Friday of the week, giving ourselves the opportunity for that new birth to start to actually poke up through the soil, and finally, you know, ripping off the last of anything that might be blocking its way. And this is definitely an emotional release. It has to kind of come up and come out in order for us to transform, and it will be different, and it represents a different you, a different way of handling things. You know what I'm saying? So where you might before been the type not to cry about a situation or not to scream or not to let yourself get excited, not be happy, this is a new you that can come out of the release that happens on the full moon. And remember, this is, a energy reading. So this is not to say that like at 2:40 p.m. on Thursday, all of you are going to be like, woo, crying or screaming or, jumping for joy or what have you. This is what the energy is ripe for this week in terms of how that might sync up with what's going on in your life. And so if that resonates for you, then I encourage you to take advantage of the full moon and let it out. Let it out, whether it's unbridled joy or, crazy veins popping anger. Let it out, because holding it in threatens to poison your new soil. And we don't want that. We don't want that. We have all this effort and energy to get us to this place. We don't want that. So we really do need to let it out so we don't go through this all over again. Okay? Moving into the weekend. The full moon obviously is a whole phase, so it's not like it just ends. And we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday here with all of the full moon reference, with the 3 of Wands, with us standing on the shore, contemplating our next step, contemplating our new move. 2 of Swords is an opportunity to make some choices, make some decisions. But we need to make them in a better place than really where the 2 of Swords is at. So what I mean by that is the release of emotion, the doing it differently, the transformation that happens in, the new soil, the little bit of bud that sticks up, now has to make decisions. 3 of Wands energy is about deciding whether or not you want to stay where you're comfortable or whether or not you're really going to navigate these waters that we talked about. 7 of Clubs in the reverse, navigating those difficult waters. This is Spirit saying, look, at this point, this is everything. This is everything on the table. This is you fully accepting the situation. You see it for what it is. You have gone through this whole year rediscovering yourself, figuring out how to get out of that old pot. First of all, figuring out that the soil was the problem in the first place, then having the courage, the guts, the everything to get up and get into a new pot, transplant yourself, do all of that. Now you have a choice. Are you going to let yourself be comfortable and just go back to your usual shit, which threatens to poison the soil again? Or are you going to really, I keep hearing, rip the Band-Aid and do the hard thing of really fully moving forward? This is something that needs to be contemplated, over the weekend. We don't necessarily have a conclusion of it, by the end of it. Sunday position, we have the 2 of Swords, Saturday, 3 of Wands. So, this is the full moon allowing us to release, get that emotion to bubble up and finally feel like this is it. This is what I feel. Am I going to move forward and do things differently, or now that I have seen everything for what it is, I've seen myself for who I am, I know what I need to do now, I cannot pretend like I don't know. There's no, it's very interesting, there's no genuine lack of clarity here. The only lack of clarity here we have is with the 2 of Swords. That is the 2 of Swords willful lack of clarity, because the 2 of Swords is sitting there with swords in her hand with a blindfold on, by choice. So there's no genuine lack of clarity after this full moon. The only thing here is deciding whether or not you are going to move because the Three of Wands is a very stagnant card, as is the Two of Swords. Deciding whether or not you are going to move and take this journey over troubled waters. See, I think we have thought maybe that this was the hard part, like what we've been through, but this is the hard part. You know, now actually taking the journey forward. And you can be willfully ignorant if you want. That is your choice, but it is where you find yourself, you know, by the end of the full moon phase. So this could be as the full moon actually moves on, or just towards the end of the week, Saturday, Sunday. This is very like interesting because it's like this is a pivotal moment for us, Thursday, Friday, into this full moon. Ace of Cups into the Death card in reverse. This is really, it all comes out. It can all come up and come out finally, you know, the last plug that needs to be pulled to let all of those emotions come out and to help give birth, literally spring the new you. And the new you will be in cocoon phase. You know, you will be brand new. That is a raw and uncomfortable place to be. And so it's understandable why after that we would be in this place of, I'm not so sure I can do this. Right? But the message here is like, you gotta. We have to find a way to pull on our inner strength. We have to find a way to rip the infected tooth out. You have to find a way, you know, by force, by magic, by, you know, prayer, but whatever, coercion, you know, whatever needs to be done. But at this point, like I said, any lack of clarity about what needs to be done after the full moon is a willful lack of clarity. You are not genuinely unsure. You know what you need to do. You're just not sure that you can do it. You might be having second thoughts about it, or, you know, just not be ready or what have you. But that only brings us back to the original message to support the Three of Wands, which is the Six of Wands, which is that there is support there for you. Okay, and that support for you is either your own inner strength, Queen of Pentacles, you drawing on your divine feminine and tapping into maybe something spiritual or magical or ancestral or deity, spirit, saint, what have you, calling on some divine feminine other being for your support, or reaching out to a physical person. Someone who can nurture and provide and help support you and give you strength and maybe resources so that you have the guts, you know, to take this step. You know what I'm saying? I have not been reading your comments. I'm sorry. Don't take it personally. It's because I have to stay focused. Let's see. Oh, there's a lot here. Ooh, Jalissa is going to be having a reunion, and a good. Oh my God! I encourage you guys to get together and definitely do something with the moon, under the full moon, if you can. That would be so powerful to share that with another person. That could be really huge. You know, someone you really care about. Tater Tots feels called out on the anger, but I'm here for it. I was feeling it really strongly. So is Acne Sagittarius. I was feeling it really strongly. I was like, make sure you mention anger. Make sure you mention anger. It's not just sadness here. Like, some of us are not letting out our justified anger. And that is going to be necessary to get out, to finally step into that new version of ourselves that maybe doesn't choke that back. Because remember, we were talking about that poison soil, poisoning the soil by choking back our own anger. You know, we don't want to do that if we've done that in the past. We have an opportunity to do things better this time. All 7 of the cards are answering what I've been asking. Good. Thank you, Portia. I'm glad to hear that. I always say that after tarot readings, you should have clarity. That is what I'm asking for. I pray that's what you receive. The decision after the release being the hard part is so true. That's part of the summer solstice, spending time with friends and family. Yeah, so I'm glad that that is resonating with you guys. Like I said, it doesn't seem like we end off the weekend like yay, but it is a place of rawness. You know, that cocoon stage of that happens after shedding your old skin, after releasing a bunch of baggage and a bunch of old stuff, and now being like, okay, am I going to stay where I'm at? Am I going to stay comfortable and potentially repeat my past patterns? Or am I going to fully embark on this journey, of change? Bianca's feeling like garbage. No. Over being pissed and sad. I know that we may be over it, but if it's not over us, like we can say we're over it, but like, are we over it? Because this is like, there's a lot more that needs to be released. So maybe the problem is living in it as opposed to releasing it. When you say you're over being pissed and sad, you've been pissed and sad for a while, is it possible that it's because you're like living in this bowl as opposed to letting it out? You know what I'm saying? So this full moon really wants us to let it out. The opposite of depression is expression. Mariah coming through with the gems. As usual, I just screamed earlier. It helped. Yes. Let it out. More of that. Oh my God, scream under the full moon. Oh, if you can get under the full moon Thursday, I pray the skies are clear enough for everybody to actually see it, to really feel that energy and scream your heart out, because that is the energy here. You know what I'm saying? Being pissed and sad is like sitting in the pool. Now is the time to let it out and empty the bowl so that you can start the bowl fresh, brand new. The thing about starting brand new, though, is that naturally we want to run scared into our comfort zones because that's what we know and that's a little bit more comfortable. So this is just kind of like a heads up about what happens, what can happen emotionally for you after releasing on the full moon. So you're not taken unawares, you don't feel yourself go, oh my God, wait, actually, I'm totally scared of this. Remember this moment, remember this reading. For those of you who take notes, remember that there is a really good chance that you will be feeling that way. You will be feeling like the cocoon, the caterpillar in the cocoon. You will be feeling kind of raw and brand new. And you'll need to push forward through that. 7 of clubs in the reverse. You're going to need to endure the ripping of the tooth out to get to, the better situation on the other side. But the tooth ripping is the getting it out, and it's not comfortable, to say the least. No emotional bypassing, fam. That's right. You gotta go through it. Okay? Gotta go through it. And not not wallow in it. That there you've done that. Like you said, you're over that. You've done that. This is not about wallowing in our sadness. This is about releasing the sadness or the anger or the joy that we don't let ourselves feel. It's about letting it out. We're not wallowing and living in it. Let it out. Express it. If what you have been dealing with deals with other people, that might involve expressing it to them, letting it out to them, so that you're able to actually get that out, and feel that sense of like relief and release. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Oh, full moon coming through to wreck some shit. Oh, full moon coming through. Full moon coming through to wreck some shit, you know, just to flip some tables. As usual. All right, so that is our tarot portion of the reading. Now we get to pull a support card to help us through this. I am very, very curious about what support can help us through this full moon, because like I said, I will be doing my various rituals and things. So I would love some support. So we're going to do this like we usually do. We have 4 support decks that we can draw from, and I'll give you a quick rundown for those of you who are new here. Okay, 4 options, and we will vote with colored emojis. The first option is the Words as Wands spells deck. Reminds me of how fish have to swim through dark trenches, not to go over them, because even though there's light, there are also jellyfish. I like that, Jalissa. Yes. You can't go over that. Well, not that you can't, but in the end, the dark trench is the better way to go. That's very full moon. We have 4 decks. This is the Words as Wands spells deck. You can say that. So Words as Wands spells deck. It's a deck of spells and rituals. So this will help us to. Oh yes, Mariah. We have the poll. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. I totally forgot. You pointed out the poll. Technology. So I'm actually going to put up a poll, but I'll tell you guys about the deck real fast. The deck's real fast. We have the Words as Wands spell deck. Don't laugh at me. I smoke. I forget things a lot. Words as Wands spells deck. We do spells and rituals in this deck. So this will help us to choose a spell or ritual that we can do. Then we have which might be really nice for the full moon. Then we have the Botanica deck. The Botanica deck is a deck of botanicals, of flowers, to help us to connect to the energy of those flowers for support. We have the Archetype deck, which is a deck of archetype cards. These cards help us to connect with our inner self. This is how we, get in touch with what areas need to be confronted in terms of maybe shadow work and things like that. And then we have the Herb Crafters Tarot deck, which helps us to pull a medicinal herb, root, bark, etc., to support us, usually physically. Most of the herbs in there are edible. So, yay! Let me put in a poll and then we'll vote. And now I'm going to try to remember for next week. I can put it up at the beginning of the live and then people can vote the whole time. Okay. Okay, did it go? I don't know if I put the right button. Oh, yep, here it goes. Oh, shit, motherfuckers, y'all want to work some spells? Okay, I'm going to leave it there for just like another minute. Damn, 100% right now. Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, thank you, Amy. It's just YouTube's. Okay, so Words as Wands is still in the lead with 50%. But falling rapidly, 45. Okay, now y'all remember what happened the last time. I thought that it was good, and then I ended the poll, and then it gave us something totally different. So I'm going to give it one more second. It looks like I want to do some rituals, which I think makes sense. Okay, I'm going to hit end poll. Are we ready? Let's see. Oh, Anthony, you don't see it. Are you on your iPad, Anthony? Because remember last week you couldn't see the super chat or the custom emojis because you were on your iPad. Are you on your iPad, Anthony? Okay. It says words as wands with 42%. See, that's interesting. It definitely said 45% for me, so I think that's weird that it changes. But either way, we do have a clear winner this time. With 42% of the votes, we are pulling a card from the Words as Wands Spells deck by Woman of Rivers. This is a young lady named Lauren, I believe, on Instagram, who had this genius idea of creating a deck that has spells and rituals in it. So when you have something like a full moon or something that you would like to honor, or an element that you want to work with or something like that, and you don't know exactly what to do, this is a deck of ideas. So we're going to ask for a spell or ritual to help support us through this full moon, through this release. Okay, so we have working with spirit. Spirit is our element. We have 5 elements in the deck: earth, air, fire, water, spirit, and we are working with spirit with this, which I think is really appropriate for the full moon. You know, all of the elements here. Okay, so you guys have seen the deck before. The cards are, does that work? The hand thing? How come the hand thing always works for the beauty gurus and stuff and never works for regular people? Do we have different cameras? Is that what it is? I have 4 people cameras. The card's not very interesting. It's just words. So you're not missing out. I'll read it to you. So each card, the way it works, we have a number, we have an element. This is the 3 is the number, and we're working with spirit. So you might want to incorporate the number 3 into your ritual. And we are working primarily with spirit in terms of the elements. Each card comes with an incantation, meaning words to say, and then instructions for how to use it. So first, I'm going to read. It's the light. Is that what it is? But they be having mad lights. They have the fancy lights though. I'll read the incantation first. So we'll read that a couple of times, what you'll say, and then I'll read the instructions. Okay. So here's the incantation. Ascended masters, honorable ancestors, angels, and guides, please hear my cry, guide my hands, ears, and eyes to the message I most need tonight. Say that again. Ascended masters, honorable ancestors, angels, and guides, please hear my cry, guide my hands, ears, and eyes to the message I most need tonight. Here are the instructions. Call for the help of your spirit team to be present for protection and guidance during spiritual practices such as divination. This simple ritual is an essential tool to ensure that you are a clear channel for your greatest good and highest timeline. Okay? So we're divining and we're using this incantation to call in our spirit guides to help us through this. This ritual is going to be super useful on something like the full moon, where we're talking about releasing these emotions that potentially we don't let ourselves get in touch with, or that we've had a hard time expressing or letting out. Feeling protected, feeling guided, knowing that you are not alone. That's going to be helpful, not only for that, but really for this. Really for this, okay? That's so weird. I wonder why they hid that. They hid your message, Acne Sagittarius. I don't know why. And Mariah always coming through in the clutch. Thank you, Mariah. Mariah has quoted the incantation in the comments for those of you who are writing it down. If you are not a magical practitioner, if you are not someone intending to do divination and to use this to call in your guides, etc., you can, put this on a post-it note on your mirror and read it as an affirmation throughout the week, and just remind yourself that you are not alone, that your spirit team is with you at all times, whatever that means for you, whoever your spirit team is comprised of for you. But for those of us who are witching around here, this is a great incantation to say before doing divination around the full moon. And honestly, this is kind of what I want you to do during the full moon. Just let yourself feel whatever rituals you want to do during the full moon, whether they be baths, whether they be screaming under the full moon. Definitely get outside if you can actually experience it. But whatever you decide to do during the full moon, to embrace that energy, channel that energy, to let it support you in releasing all of this stuff that you need to get out, I would do that. And then Saturday, Sunday, I would use divination to help me through this uncertain period. That's what I would do. Saturday, Sunday, after I was done with my full moon rituals, I would call in my spirit team, sit down with my cards, my pendulum, my runes, my bones, my shells, whatever, my scrying bowl, my glass of water, my flame, my mirror, whatever you use for spirit communication, myself, my prayer. You don't need to use divinatory tools, but you are going to want to tap in to spirit to help you through that uncertain period of like, oh shit, okay, well, am I really going to go be brand new me, or like what? Knowing that they're with you, feeling that sense of protection and comfort, having them show you some clear messages, some clear signs to let you know that when you go ahead and take this trip over uncertain waters, that it is going to be okay. I would use that opportunity to connect with them then. You know what I mean? Not that you don't need to like call on your ancestors and connect with your spirit team at all times, but I don't necessarily know that is super necessary for this overflowing, this release of emotion, because this is readily available to you. These are the emotions that you carry with you every day that you just haven't fully let out. So I think this ritual, do it whenever it feels right for you. But personally, I think this ritual, incorporating this incantation into a divination ritual of some kind, would be most helpful towards the very end of the weekend, after the full moon, after the release, where you feel like you need some support and not guidance, because like I said, it's not, you don't lack clarity at this point, but some support, just someone to hold your hand while you embark on, what may be foreign territory. What is foreign territory? Being brand new is always foreign territory, right? You know what I mean? That Six of Wands is coming through strong, right? And I literally just looked at it when I said you need someone to hold your hands, and the couple in this card is holding hands. and you really need somebody to support you and hold your hand. Tap into your divinatory practices, call in your spirit team, divine feminine, definitely coming through here in the form of like an ancestor that you can, or guide that you can connect with, feminine energy to help support you through that. But like I said, this might be someone in the physical, but your divination can tell you that. Pull your cards, sit with your runes, whatever you may do. Read this incantation. Ascended masters, honorable ancestors, angels, and guides, please hear my cry. Guide my hands, ears, and eyes to the message I most need tonight. Start your divination with that incantation. Say it as many times as you need to really feel it. That's a pro tip right there, by the way, guys. When you are using prayer or words from other people or anything like that, like even when I read Psalms from the Bible or whatever, because they're not my own words, I've noticed that if I read it like 3 times, sometimes I might need to read it more, but if I read it at least 3 times, by the 3rd time, I'm not stumbling over the words so much. I'm not thinking about what I have to say so much, and it flows easier and I can feel it more. So whenever you're using other people's words, always say it a few times so you can actually feel it. Because when it comes to prayer and chanting, incantations, what mantra, whatever you want to call it, it needs to be felt. It's not just about the words that you're saying, and it can be hard to feel a prayer that you're reading. So I have started, I started back in the day reading everything like at least 3 times. It helps. That's okay, Angelica. You're never late. I never think of it as a missing anything. You came in right when you needed to come in. This was the important part. You can always go back and watch the rest of it. The important part is here now, when you're here now. So no worries. Dry your eyes. All right. Save those tears for Thursday. All right. So that is our support card, guys. A beautiful incantation, a beautiful prayer to read before we start our divination. Like I said, after the release, divine for the strength and for in signs of where to get the support you need, so that you don't just go back to your, what was once comfortable. All right. That is the message, folks. Release. Thank you, Josie. I'm excited. Get excited, guys. I have new videos coming out for you this week. Woo-woo. Members only videos and public videos. We have our first Witches of Color support group meeting on Friday. Lots of good stuff going on. So for those of you just arriving, definitely do go back. Catch up on the announcements at the beginning of the video. Check the description box for links for everything, the decks, everything we talked about, all of that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'll see you in the next live next week, 7 p.m., the new time, which I hope is working for people. It seems like it is. So thank you guys for being here. You're welcome. You have a great week as well. Happy birthday again, Mariah. Enjoy your package. Shout out to everybody who has been enjoying Solstice, my new smoke blend. Make sure to check the shop, bronxwitch.com, before the end of the week, because the shop shuts down Friday at midnight. Okay? Don't say I didn't tell you. And join the mailing list, because then you already know this stuff. All right? Good night, guys. Good night. Thank you. Blessed be. Bye. Asheo.